Supporters and players from clubs not always on the national stage, arriving on merit and really enjoying themselves. Third Division Cambridge, a case in point yesterday, a standing ovation from the Arsenal supporters for them at Highbury. And today, as the Spurs fans lift the volume at the start, it's the turn of the league's oldest club, Notts County, to sample this atmosphere. A year ago or more, they were just a routine third division side, but just look at them now. The Wembley experience of winning the playoffs, they could be there again this season. And it's, if you like, a team without stars, but one that, if it needs some introduction, is certainly very well integrated. Number 7, Dean Thomas, by the way, plays at left back. The two strikers are number 9, Kevin Bartlett, and number 10, Gary Lund, the man who scored the winner against Manchester City in the last round. And there are two names there already in Graham Taylor's notebook. Number 11, Mark Draper, and number 12, Tommy Johnson, have both been in the England under-21 squad. Well, I suppose compared to the star names in this lineup, these are more familiar, aren't they? The Tottenham team news, you've heard that Gascoigne plays despite his groin injury. Paul Stewart is playing, possibly up front with Gary Lineker, in which case Mitchell Thomas, wearing number 9, will have a midfield role alongside Gascoigne. The two fullbacks actually play the other way round normally, Vanden Hauwe on the right and Edinburgh on the left. To Short, number 4. Good flick on by Gary Lund, and Mabbott close to Bartlett. Thomas hit it well, but Torsvet seemed deceived by it.
Well, that was amazing. You could see Dean Thomas was going to have the shot, and you thought, well, he's a bit optimistic from there. Look at the distance, but it's one of those that bounces in front of the goalkeeper, skims off the surface, and it hit the outside of the post.
Well, Bartlett turns it in, Mabbott heads it out, and Spurs are rattled. They're really rattled back there, and it was the pace of Bartlett making the run at the right time. He got behind Mabbott and Sedgley, which was part of Notts County's plan.
Torsvet did well there because Bartlett just got a toe into it, but Torsvet pushed him wide and gave time for Gary Mabbott, I think it was, who got back to head it off as it was directed towards goal, but not the sort of start Spurs wanted.
Shot! Well, I suppose there'll always be a love affair between against Sedgley. And the ricochet of Sedgley went conveniently for Tottenham to Thomas. This is Stewart. Half an hour gone in the first half, and now Notts County back in possession, and that must be says that the ball was played and has given Notts County a corner.
Kevin Bartlett should have done better there. He was clear. His first touch took him far too wide and enabled the tackle to be made. He should have been clear of the defence. It
was certainly a promising break by Notts County, and Terry Venables looks concerned, as well the Tottenham bench might. The danger's not over yet. Yates and Short are both forward for the corner. Gascoigne's lost it on the edge of the area. O'Riordan, what a shot! What a fantastic goal! Don O'Riordan has hit that out of nothing, and to say the danger wasn't over is an understatement. Just look at the way it flew in. And Notts County from the second division have the effrontery to take the lead at White Hart Lane, and who can deny them the right? It was a magnificent strike, Trevor Brooking.
Well, one of those shots that, as a player, as soon as it's left the boot, you know it's going in. Eric Torsvet, no chances. There he is, reliving the moment, I'm sure. And there Neil Warnock, making sure that his side, I'm sure, don't concede a goal now. I know a couple of minutes leading up to half-time, and Terry Venables' face tells it all, doesn't it?
Well, two things to be said about that goal straight away. Paul Gascoigne has to take some responsibility for giving the ball away when Tottenham tried to clear the corner. It came back, and he will know that. It came back to O'Riordan, and Don O'Riordan, who's been around, what, 7, 8 professional clubs, but I remember was always a superb, sweet striker of the ball, and if that's not an evidence of it, I don't know. Spurs have equalised. It was Naeem's shot, but I think it went in off number 4, poor Craig Short. Naeem makes room to drive it, and that, yes, it's in off the post as well. An agonising goal for Notts County, but a priceless one for Spurs. Off Short, off the post, and in the net. It's 1-1.
Well, no emotion.
And just got the ball back. Important for Tottenham, that. Again, Bartlett's pace, an important part of Notts County's game plan. Here's Lineker for Spurs to Vanden Hauwe. Dean Thomas, Turner. Still the second division side want to come forward, but this is Ed here with some spaces. Turner for Notts County. He's got Lund in the middle and Bartlett coming in now. Drop behind them both, and it was out of play. Oh! Well, how do you beat Steve Cherry? It either seems to stick or go straight to him, or... Lineker shoots and Cherry saves.
Superb controlled heading.
And Vinny Samways has put the ball in the net, but was it hands against? Paul Walsh first. I think it was hands first. It will not count. Spurs fans were hopeful, as was Samways, but it's not a goal. The appeal was for handball, and the goal does not stand.
Still
Turner being joined by London Thomas. Havertz gets in the way.
Two or three occasions the offside has been broken by County in those wide positions, and on that occasion again Kevin Bartlett not getting.
A smiling manager, delighted supporters, and a goal scorer who seems to know when the moment is right in the FA Cup. Sedgley got forward following the corner. It ran on to Gascoigne, and he planted that with such precision that even Cherry could do nothing about it. Gascoigne, 2 against Oxford, 2 against Portsmouth, and now is it the winner against Notts County?
Notts County just looked along the line to see whether they might get an offside decision. I think you'll find Dean Thomas, the left-back, just about made it level, and Paul Gascoigne, probably the last player.
That's short, and it's now Paul Stewart looking for a way out. And Steve Cherry must have got a touch. Another piece of important goalkeeping, denying Gary Lineker what would have been number 3 for Spurs, and that surely would have sealed it. The semi-finals of the FA Cup, courtesy of the man who won them effectively. The 4th round, the 5th round, and now the 6th round ties. Paul Gascoigne came along with the winning goal 7 minutes from time to settle what, to Notts County's credit, was a really difficult match for Spurs. They fell behind just before half.